What's up? Welcome to today's episode of Ride Along. What is Ride Along? Well, Ride Along, as you can see, is a 360 video. I do car reviews here, so while I review today's car, you can look around. I'm sorry. My car doesn't like that I'm leaving the lane. But during the review today, you can look around the car. I'll tell you the ins and outs, the design, everything about the car. And so let's first introduce this car. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2019 Toyota Camry. So let's get right into it, shall we? The Toyota Camry has been around for a while, which is a good thing. That means that it's reliable. That means you're not going to be too surprised with everything here. But today I have the 2019 Toyota Camry. Now, this body style and this design was introduced in 2018, and there hasn't been a whole lot that's been changed, but I'll go over a few of the things that have been changed, show you some of the updates, what you can expect with this car. Now, there are 5 different models that you can choose between. You've got the L, LE, the SE, which is this particular model. I'll show you the features with the SE since it's right in the middle. You should get a pretty good indicator of what to expect across the board. And then above the SE, you've got the XLE and the XSE. Those are going to provide the luxury to your ride, and we'll talk about a few of the options in the luxury areas of the Camry. Now, the models start at $24,765. That's the base model price. And then once you get up to the XLE, XSE, you can expect to pay about $30,000, a little above $30,000, kind of reaching up into $31,000 if you get all of the options and make it as luxurious as possible. Now, this particular model, the SE, you can expect to pay around the $25,000 area for this. If you're buying used, you can obviously get a little bit lower than that, but with the plethora of options and the different choices between the models, you know, you can fluctuate the price here and there depending on what you would like. But without further ado, let's look under the hood, we'll look in the trunk, and then I'll show you a little bit what it has to offer on the inside. Okay, let's do a walk around the car. I'll show you the design of the 2019 Camry and show you some things that I really like. When I was recording the video for the Camry, I mentioned the white on black. You can see here the 2019 Camry as well. They do the black accent with the front grille there. Everything else though, they've just got little black accents here and there. The skirt, unlike the Corolla, here is white. So still though, I think it's a good looking car, very sleek. The 2019 model, if you'll notice the antenna up here at the top, they've opted for the shark fin antenna. The 2018 Camry did not have that, so that is one thing that's a little different in this model. But I mean, as you can see, it's very clean. It's a nice looking car, not too different from the 2008 version though. So this is not a new model, it's just the new model year. But I like it. It's fun to drive. It's smooth, nice to look at. And so this is pretty much what you can expect to see with the Camry. Now, this is what you're going to be seeing underneath the hood. We have here your basic inline-4 that runs through an 8-speed automatic transmission. And this particular model will be sporting about 203 horsepower. If you're paying attention to any previous models of Camry, especially the older models, that's a pretty decent increase in power on the engine. I have to admit, when I was driving it out of the dealership today and I was accelerating, I did not think that I had the inline-4. I kind of thought I had the V6. So, you know, take that with what you will. Now, the XLE and the XSE do have an optional V6 engine that impressively has about 301 horsepower in it. So if you do decide to get the higher end model and go for the V6, I think you'll be pretty impressed with the power that it has to offer. The reason that I really like the SE as well as the L and the LE is that you're going to get crazy good gas mileage. As far as other cars in its class, it actually has the best estimated gas mileage. You're gonna be working with about 32 miles per gallon. That's combined city and highway, which for a car of this size is awesome. You're really not gonna be spending that much money refilling at the gas station. So that's what you can expect to find underneath the hood. Nothing too crazy, but Toyota's done a good job at giving you power with very little engine. And here we have the trunk. I apologize, it might be a little bit dark in there. I've tried to illuminate it a little bit more so you can see what's going on. But with the trunk, you're working with 15.1 cubic feet of storage space. So there's plenty of room for your belongings or boxes or luggage or whatever you might need to put in there. As for the cabin, there's a lot of space up there as well. The back seats do fold down if you need a little extra space to load your stuff. So I really don't think that you're gonna be too nervous about the cargo space in this car. Now, if you do decide to go with the hybrid, in the past, hybrid models have sacrificed a little bit of trunk space because the hybrid battery would take up a lot of space. Toyota with this model and with the 2018 model as well, they've moved the hybrid battery up underneath the rear seats. So you're not actually gonna sacrifice any cargo space if you do decide to go with the hybrid. So that might actually be a selling point for you for the hybrid. You'll get the better gas mileage as well as the same cargo space that you can expect to have in the normal models. And here we have the driver's seat. What you see is what you get. You've got your typical controls on the steering wheel. You'll find these same controls inside of the Toyota Corolla as well. So if you're familiar with the Corolla, maybe you're looking to upgrade into the Camry, then you're not going to be too surprised with the buttons that you'll find here on the steering wheel. Now, this infotainment center is standard across all of the models as well. You've got your fair share of apps. I really like Toyota's setup. It is useful, it's easy to use. I promise you, you're not going to be too overwhelmed with it, which is a good thing. It's easy to use. I got my phone connected in 4 seconds. I mean, not really, but I figured out which buttons to push. So you're not going to be too scared of it. The display has a lot of information that is going to be useful for you as a driver. If you look in the middle there, you'll see the little car with the 2 lanes. That's going to be your lane departure assist. So if you start driving on lines on the freeway, it'll start beeping at you, getting after you, because frankly, Toyota doesn't want you to drive off the road. I don't either. I don't think anyone does, but it's nice to help you stay more aware as a driver. As far as interior space is concerned, you have about 38 inches of headroom. So if your torso up is a little bit more than 38 inches, your head might be rubbing a little bit, but it's a decent amount of headroom. Now the seats can be lowered and raised to what you want. So I suppose you could be making a little bit more room for yourself there. As for leg room, up front you're working with around 42 inches of leg room. Again, the seats can move to your liking. So I don't know, I wasn't uncomfortable in the car at all while driving. I'm at 6 feet, as I think I've mentioned in every single video, but that's just to give you a bit of an idea of where my feet will lie, and it's comfortable. Let's take a look in the rear seats and I'll show you what kind of legroom we're working with there. As for your passengers in the back, I'm comfy. You've got about 38 inches for your passengers in the rear seat. Now, the seats back here also have a lot of legroom. The seats seem quite deep. This is with the driver's seat all the way back. I've got room. I've got room to spare. I can sleep back here. That's an important thing in most cars. I don't know, maybe you're having a hard day at work. You need to go take a quick nap in the back seat. You'd be pretty comfortable in here. I mean, you're not gonna sprawl out like a queen size mattress or a king, but I don't know, I'm comfy. I might sit here for a minute, I don't know. Comfortable's a good thing and I don't really want to leave just yet. Yeah, we'll leave. Let's go do the ride along, shall we? So I've shown you the exterior, I've shown you the engine, the trunk, some of the interior as well. But how does the car drive? Well, I mean, it drives well. It's a Camry. It's reliable. They've been around a while. And I assume that that's why most people would buy a Camry, is because you're getting what you're expecting, which I guess makes it a little bit boring, sad to say. However, with the new styling and everything, it's a really fresh update to how the Camry used to be. Now, the Camry is tested at a 5-star rating, which is important, obviously. If, heaven forbid, you crash the car, you want to make sure that you're going to get through it just fine. There are also a ton of safety features with the Camry. Many of them are actually standard. I really think it's impressive with how many standard features Toyota fits into really their entry-level cars. Now, the Corolla, being the entry-level car, has its fair share of options, as well as standard features. Now, this being the Camry, it shares that same thing. Within the Toyota family, you're going to get the standard safety features. One of the standard safety features is the adaptive cruise control. So while you're cruising on the freeway, if the car gets a little bit too close to you, it will back off for you. That's a safety feature that, frankly, I don't want to test out. I'm just going to take Toyota's word for it, that it exists, and I'll be fine with that. Now, there is also lane departure assist. As I mentioned earlier, it monitors the lines on the road, make sure you're in the center of the lane. If you start to drift, it'll let you know. It'll let you know. I did have a few times earlier where I was listening to some music and I heard the lane departure assist blinging. It actually went to the beat of the music. And for a minute I thought, wait, is the car talking to me or is that part of the music? Had to turn the radio down. Turns out it was the car getting after me. Bump. And so that brings me to my next point. This is a quiet car. I mean, of course, depending on the surface you're driving on, it's going to be a little bit different every time, but it's a very quiet car. You're not going to be competing with the sounds of the road versus the sound of your music. As for climate control, this being the SE model, it has, in this particular model, we only have the one zone climate control, so everyone in the car gets to feel the same temperature you do. It is optional to do the dual climate control zone, so that's optional with the SE model. If you're going with XLE or XSE, that just comes standard. It's all part of the package. It's very nice as well. One thing that kind of bothered me, there's the lane departure assist. If you're watching where I'm driving, of course, you'll notice that. So, safety features in action. No, but anyways, one thing that I did find with the car that kind of irked me a little bit with the SE model is that heated front seats are not an option. If you get the XLE or XSE model, those come standard. I would expect heated front seats, frankly, to be a feature that would just be offered in the lower end models. Maybe I'm a little bit spoiled. But I don't know, a heated front seat at least is something come standard. I'd expect vented seats especially to be an optional item, because it's not something you really need, but it's nice. I like those vented seats. Another few standard things, the Camry does come with Apple CarPlay, as does the Corolla. In fact, all Toyota models do come with Apple CarPlay. However, if you're an Android user, I do apologize, you're out of luck. There's no Android Auto in the Toyota lineup. I don't know why. I really don't. A lot of other car brands are just making that a standard feature. That's something that's quite common. Toyota might bring it out in the future. I don't know. I haven't been in contact with them, so I really don't know. As for the other things, the basic driving experience, handling is responsive. The brakes are great. Nothing to worry about there. It's a modern car. It's going to go, it's going to stop, it's going to turn left and right just how you would want. I suppose I'm still in the mindset of the Camrys of the past, those that we saw in high school where they were just kind of your average, everyday, meh kind of car. But I'm quite impressed actually with the way that it corners. As far as acceleration goes, not that impressive. I did mention before the 203 horsepower inline 4. It's a good amount of horsepower, decent amount of of giddy up to the car, but it's not really going to blow you away. Now, with that being said, what's my final verdict of the car? Well, let's go over the pros of the car first. First pro, it's a clean design. It's tried and true from 2018. Apparently buyers really liked it in 2018 because the car did well. And so not too much has changed in the styling. And I like it. It's clean. It's somewhat minimalistic. The dashboard, I'm not too picky with dashboards, but it could probably use a little bit of an update, maybe a little bit of pizzazz, especially with what they did with the Corolla, where I really think they just took that center console straight out of a Lexus. It looks good. Here, this isn't a bad looking dashboard in the interior, but interior, exterior combined, it's clean. I like it. Another pro, the gas mileage. Gas mileage in this car is great. I love it. It's so nice when you can pay a lot of money. My everyday car, I drive a V8. It's a little thirsty, so it's nice to do this for a change where I'm rocking about 32, 33 miles per gallon. Obviously, if you're on the freeway a lot, then it's going to be very kind to you there. And the last pro for the car, it's comfortable. It's got a reliable ride. It is the Camry. You're not going to be too surprised at anything. Let's go over a few of the cons. I guess my number one con are the luxury features of the car. Why are luxury features a con? I know, it's first world problems. But I don't like that in order to get some of the more luxury features, you have to get the higher end models. Which if you're looking between the SE and the XSC, you're looking at a difference of about $10,000. A little under, but still, it's a significant price difference to get those luxury features. So it kind of steers me away from it a little bit. My second and final con of the car is the acceleration. It's just not that amazing. It'll get you into traffic just fine. You're going to be safe as long as you obviously allow enough space for the approaching vehicles. We have canyons for gutters in this neighborhood. But I mean, it's just very standard acceleration. It'll get you where you need to go, just not extremely quick. And as for my final verdict of the car, would I buy it? You know, I'd consider it. It's a very clean car. I would certainly consider it for maybe not quite a starter. If it's a first car, maybe look into the Corolla. If you've got a little extra money to spend, not a whole lot, but I mean, it's not that preventative of a car with its price range. But yeah, I'd consider it. If you're familiar with the Toyota brand, I think that it's going to be a good car for you. I think that you'll really like it, actually. And that does it for today's review of the 2019 Toyota Camry. I hope that you all enjoyed the review. I hope that it was helpful for you. If you like what you saw here on the video, then head on over to my website. Actually, I'll provide a link in the description. On the website, I have a few extra things. I do write out a review of the cars that I drive so that it can be a little bit more eloquent, a little more thought out, because I do just kind of ramble on about the cars while I'm driving them. But you can also find some still pictures there. Some 360 photos are on there, so the image quality will be a little bit better. You can spend a little bit more time looking at the different angles of the car from the interior, seeing what is going to be offered there. So definitely check that out. Everything else, if you really like the videos, be sure to like the video. Subscribe if you would like. I will try to be putting up regular reviews, of course, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.